Hey everybody, not back for another installment with Tom Davis, and I'm recruiting director for Student Athlete World, and also I coach Rawlings Tigers Pittsburgh 18U Elite Showcase team that's will be traveling the nation and competing against some of the best kids. And with my recruiting business and everything, I'm just wanted to put together a series and talk to different college coaches at different levels and in all sports, boys and girls, and have them talk about their program, recruiting, how they go about the business, things they think kids need to know information wise, and I'm really happy to have a good young coach, Brad Gyorkos, with me, who was at Salem University with Addie Rouse and is now the head baseball coach at Culver-Stockton College out in Missouri. Brad, how you doing today?
I'm good, Tom. I appreciate you having me.
I can tell you're one of the young guys, man. You actually have the phones. And
the funny thing is you say that, but the speakers on this laptop don't work. So the only way that I'm able to talk to you is with the headphones on.
Oh, that's well.
Yeah.
I wish my interview before had some stuff with them too. That's a different story. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce Brad here and let him give his bio and background, and then, go through some questions about recruiting, baseball philosophy. Let him plug his school. Let him show his passion and his excitement about college baseball and coaching and dealing with players, recruits, and also the total game of college baseball. So, Brad, you have it. Give us some background and your bio as far as your background in baseball.
All right, good deal. I'm a JUCO guy, Tom, and I started off. I'm originally from Rockford, Illinois, is where I'm from, and lucky enough for me, in my hometown, I had a junior college that in Rock Valley that I could go play at and figure out who the heck I was, right? I wasn't the best student in the world. I wasn't the best, just everything, right? So I went junior college route and I played at Rock Valley under Kevin Vest, who is now the athletic director at Tyler Junior College in Texas. So I played there for 2 years, the best decision of my life, did some good things, and then actually transferred here to Culver-Stockton and played here for 2 years. Also did some cool things. We played in regional. We were pretty successful, and so we did that. Didn't know what I wanted to do for a career. Baseball coaching wasn't the number one thing on my list of what I wanted to do, right? I thought the front office thing was what I wanted to do. I thought that's what I wanted. So I interned in the Frontier League for the Rockford Aviators. And then I was a groundskeeper there as well. So I was doing all that. And then you realize pretty early that as an intern, it's a lot of answering the phone. Like, hey, ticket sales, this is what we do. And I had no impact on the baseball field like I thought I was going to have. So I was like, okay, let's figure this out and get into baseball, and called Kevin Vest and said, hey man, can I come work for free? You don't have to pay me a lick. I will come and volunteer for Rock Valley baseball. I'm going to live in my parents' basement as long as they let me live here. I was working the scorers table for men's and women's basketball. I was the PA announcer for men's and women's soccer, right? I was doing anything to get any sort of money in my pocket and any experience baseball-wise I could. So he let me do it. He let me coach hitters, infielders. He let me coach first base as a 22-year-old kid, just having no idea what I was doing, right? And so I did that for a year, and then Coach Vest took the new job. He became the AD at Waubonsie, and so it put me in a situation where I needed to look for something else. And so I applied to every job in America, Tom. Any GA job in America that had an application process ready, I was applying. And I get a phone call one day and say, hey, there's this guy out in West Virginia. His name's Addison Rouse. You should call him. And I was like, okay, I didn't know anything about West Virginia. I'm from big city, Rockford, Illinois, Chicago area, kind of, right? And so I was like, okay, I'll call him. We talked for about maybe an hour, and Addie just as well as anybody. The dude talks his program up, and he talks me, and then 2 weeks later, I'm on my way to West Virginia, and I got in the car, just went, and at the time it was Salem International,
Sure.
and we got the job there, and was the graduate assistant for Addie, and it was just us two. So it was myself, Addie. We didn't have any other assistants on staff. He gave me full reins of recruiting and hitting, and just said, "Here you go, let's do it."
I apologize.
No, you're fine. More the merrier, right? But I got the job there, and we had 16 kids, Tom, and so we were there, and we said, "Listen, we got two options here, right? Either one, go find new jobs, or flip it, and let's do this thing, and get to work." And so we went to work, and I was there for 3.5 years, and I think we did some good things.
Absolutely, you guys did.
Yeah, so we did some good things, and it was kind of time, right? And it was time for me to look for something else. And this job at Culver-Stockton opened, and I was like, hey, it's my alma mater. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, right? I'd never had the formal interview experience, right? It was always on the phone. Like, Addie hired me without even knowing who I was. And so I said, okay, I want the interview experience. I'm just going to throw my hat in the ring. Let's see what happens. I get the interview, they go a different direction, which was fine with me as an alumni. I was, oh, cool. I'm okay. The guy ends up taking a different job. I get a call in October, and I get the job in October of 2019. And, I'm in year 2 now. And it's been kind of crazy. So, head coach my alma mater is my first head coaching job isn't the worst thing in the world. So, like I said, we're in year 2, and we kind of just hit the ground running.
It's an interesting thing that I picked up, and then, I tell my clients, my recruiting clients, my players that play for me, one thing that you said, when you were looking for a job, man, and you know what, you could just see, you could hear that persistence in you and that drive. And, it's about contacting and being proactive and all that. And it's like you said, I mean, I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, you're going to hear from people that you don't know where they are. You've never heard of them. And, we have research engine on their profile to where they can go research any college and any program in the nation, and that our profiles are really good in that facet. And you can see hey, you've at a young age you've been around, but because of your drive and your persistence, here you are now, and you have your start. You have a head coaching position, real young, and everything like that. And I applaud you and congratulate you. I dealt with you and Addie when you guys were at Salem, and I saw the job and the people you were bringing in, and that when you were independent, you didn't have a conference, the new field wasn't up, and everything.
And it got flooded. If you remember that, we got the turf, and then it flooded, and then we played at high school stadiums for a year.
Yeah.
Which talk about more adversity, right? So that it is what it is, and you can take it day by day, and you can either, one, complain about it, or two, figure it out, right? So.
Yep. So I mean, you're getting it now, and now you're going through COVID. So I mean, hey, God bless. You're young and everything like that, and talk to coaches about all the time. Patience. I remember when I got done playing with the Red Sox, and it had been 7 years, and I called Coach Nazik and was like, okay, it's time to go back to school at UC, and I had to do all 4 years, and he put me on staff and all that. And I can remember one thing that he said, if I'm going to teach you one thing, he goes, the game, and you're a good teacher and communicator, you're going to learn the word patience.
That's right.
And believe me, I mean, my wife may not sit there and say that, but you know what? I think I've done pretty well and all that. But you know what? I'm going to let you take over here. You're at Culver-Stockton out in Missouri. Tell us, you know, your division and everything. And hey, sell your school. Let everybody know about Culver-Stockton.
You got it. We're Culver-Stockton. We're in Camp, Missouri, northeast Missouri. So we're just west of the Mississippi River. Top of our campus, you can see the Mississippi. So we're pretty fortunate with our location. You know, we're half an hour from Iowa. We're 20 minutes from Illinois. We're right in the middle of it. Is it a small town college atmosphere? Sure. It's small town. We compete in the NAIA and we're in the Heart of America Athletic Conference. And, a really, really good conference when it comes to the middle of the country. I mean, this is, to me, selfishly, I think it's top 3, top 5 conference in America, just because of the talent and the amount of teams we have and just the competition that it brings. So Culver-Stockton, yeah, we're in the NAIA small college athletics. Number 1 in the state of Missouri for post-grad employment when it comes to our degree. So, we're pretty lucky when it comes to the level of academics that our school offers. It helps us immensely with everything that we're doing. When it comes to our baseball program, it encompasses a lot more than just baseball and the product on the field, right? We call it a life program. It's not just a baseball program. This program is about a lot more than just the wins and losses, Tom. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And do I hate losing? Sure. Does the losing keep me up at night? Absolutely. But here at Culver, we're here to create champions on the field, in the classroom, in life, just all the way around. And I think with our degree being number 1 in the state of Missouri, it helps us do that. I mean, it gives us a competitive advantage above some other people in our area, and we push that hard. We're going to push that one hard and say you're going to grow not only as a baseball dude, but as just a person. Right? You're going to walk across the stage 4 years or 2 years from now, whatever it is, a better person, more prepared for life, more prepared for just being a better person when you walk out. And that's why I tell everybody that walks in our office, right? I'm not saying you're a bad dude right now, but I'm just saying 4 years from now, if you're not more prepared for everything, then I didn't do my job well enough, or my assistants didn't do our job well enough. Right.
Crazy thing. And I'm going to plug here for you. I saw on Twitter where on Wednesdays you have your players bring their phones to practice.
Yeah.
And they actually will walk around the field and call home.
Correct.
To check in, make sure everything. I did. Now I was like, wow, something I never thought about. You talk to mom, and I've had people come into the office when I'm coaching. Sure, yeah, hey, you know what? Give mom a call. So I know they'd love to hear from you. But I just thought that was an outstanding thing that you implement there, and hey, creative ideas and everything like that. I like it. What I wanted to ask about, I mean, I tell people all the time, everybody is out for the full ride. This, that, the other thing. Division I, there's so many few. I mean, people don't understand. And NAIA, you get 12 scholarships.
That's correct. Yeah. Yep.
Now, question: do you have all 12 of those?
Yeah. We're pretty lucky. Yeah.
You are, because I talk to other NAIA schools. I talk, and as well as I do, Division IIs and everything like that. You're allowed 9 scholarships Division II wise. I will bet, and it was so funny, and then the coaches I've talked to agree that probably 20% of those schools may have, pardon me, all 9 scholarships available.
Mm-hmm. It's hard. So, it's sometimes an unfair advantage to some people, right? Just because of the situation they're in. Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people, don't understand it. They're NCAA. You talk to them about the NAIA and everything like that. Hey, tell me tell me about the competitive level of baseball you have going on at NAIA.
I think that it is so much better than a lot of people give it credit for. Right. It's competitive. We have guys that are going to run the radar gun up, everywhere you go. Right. We got a weekend series in the Heart, and we're going to throw our guys at you that I think that can compete at every level of baseball up until, a certain point. Right. But in the NAI, you got the top echelon of teams in the NAI are going to compete with anybody in America. And I do believe that. Right. There are people that give negative connotation to what we're doing here, right, in the NAI, but I think until they see it with their own eyes and go, wow, that guy can play, right? That guy can play at Mizzou. That guy can play at the University of Illinois, but he's at Culver-Stockton. They go, holy smokes, right? This is big time baseball, and it's played that way. We play hard, and it's different.
I tell people all the time, I mean, and I have kids, NAIA, JUCO, Division III, Division II, Division I. I have people that were Division I talent playing Division III and everything like that. And just because, hey, financial aspects and everything like that. And like you said, the setting up for life. You talk about the education thing and setting you up for the next 40 years of your life. They go about it the right way. And, instead of sitting somewhere and, developing and seeing the field for 2 years, they go and play. They do very well. They go to school for what they want to do. Great placement coming out. And the total financial package, when it comes to paying back and all that, is not near what they would have done there. And
you're right. And if you have the aspiration to play professional baseball, it doesn't matter where you go, Tom. You go Division III, you go NAI, you go Division II. It doesn't matter if you're good enough and you have the aspiration to go play professional baseball. It doesn't matter whether you go to Vanderbilt or to Culver-Stockton. It doesn't matter. If you're good enough, someone's going to find you.
Someone's going to find you, Coach. But the other thing is, you know what? When you reach that next level in college and play college baseball, your college coach is going to sit there and promote you. They know you. They're going to put you out. Yeah,
I will do anything I can do to promote our players and to promote our program. And if that means I'm going to have to go out and call every area scout in the country, then I'm doing it, because that's what it's about for me. Like I said, I want wins and losses, but it's all about our players, right? If our players can get to a point that they go play professional baseball, then let's rock and roll.
Yep, that's great. So we're going to get into recruiting a little bit, and sorry about that.
Fine,
my wife just came home, and Mook got her parchment paper that she uses for the candy and stuff.
I gotcha.
But recruiting, your philosophy, what you guys are looking for as far as everything, how many roster spots you have and carry and everything like that. Give us the breakdown of recruiting Culver-Stockton wise.
Yeah, so we've got a big roster, Tom. We have a JV program. We've got the whole thing. So we'll probably carry somewhere between 50 and 60 guys, I bet. When the fall starts, we'll have about.
You're going to open up eyes just right there.
Yeah, and that's small college athletics, right? And it's 50 to 60 guys on a roster, and when we bring in a class, it's going to be 70% high school guys, and then I'm going to work my tail off for the older guys, right? I want 70 to 30% when it comes to high school, junior college athletes, sure. Right? And when we recruit early, it's the high school kids, right? I'm trying to get our high school class done in the most productive and fast and quickly as I can do it. Not quickly as in, skipping steps, right? But is I want guys that want to be a part of it. So I'm going to recruit as many kids as I can, and I want talent and guys that want to be a part of our program. I don't want to beg people to come to school here, right? I want people to make good decisions for their family and themselves and want to be a part of our program. And so, we try to get that done, the high school class done, efficiently and make sure that we're making the right decision for us. When it comes to the junior college kids, we wait for them for the most part. I'm not going to ever put any pressure on these junior college kids. Like, I get it. I played junior college baseball. I coached it.
The routine.
I know it, man. I coached at the junior college level, right? I get it, right? These kids want to play their spring and see what happens. So I'm gonna be patient with those guys. But when it comes to high school kids, like I said, especially now with this COVID stuff happening, it's a log jam at some places, and so we need these kids to start making some decisions that one, like I said, want to be a part of what we're doing here, because I think it's special and I think we're getting there. But two, just to make a good decision, right, for their family, because I don't want people to come in 1 year, leave. I want people here for 4 years that have a really good college experience here at our school, and that's kind of what we look for when it comes to recruiting. When I'm sitting down in the late spring and saying this is what we need for our next class or whatever it may be, that's kind of what we look for.
Sure. I mean, and it's like you say, I mean, the academics, the baseball, and, the people that are there for the right reasons. I talk to my kids about it all the time. I call it, we're not looking for, the place. What we look for is called the right fit. Correct. And people will ask me, my kids will be like, well, how will I know when I make the right decision? I said, you'll make the right decision when you're telling me I'm going to school there, Tom, because you know what? If I wasn't playing football, baseball, softball there, this is where I'd want to be because it's going to take care of me.
Correct.
And I think that, with stuff that you see now, and you see the Supreme Court is going to be, actually looking at paying athletes to go to school. I mean, I just think the college athletics in general, COVID-wise, and the extra years and changes there, I keep telling everybody, next 5 years, you're going to see changes in college athletics like you can't believe. Yeah. But, it's nice to see. I love the Division IIs, IIIs, and NAIs that just go about it and go about your business. You know what? We're selling our education, our placement, as well as your ability to play. And the other important thing I think that people don't realize, and I talk to them about, is the network that you gain. I mean, everywhere that you go. And now, as well as I do, there's great people come out of Culver-Stockton. You don't think that they played baseball. They're aware of who's playing and whose major is what. Hey, you know something? You're going into your senior year. You get done. Here's my card. Give me a call. I often talk and preach about it's not what you know, it's who you know, and that's gaining that. That's gaining that network and being that. So, it's such a fine line, and like I said, a lot of people, as I said, don't know that NAIA schools have to have, allotted 12 scholarships, and a lot of them, are blessed and do have the money, and you know what, you have. Man, you have a JV development program and 60 people rostered, and can compete with, other bigger schools and everything like that. So it's a great sell. You've done a good job there. So let me, the recruiting process, you go 70-30. That's your likely formula. How soon is it, Coach Brad, that you start to, look at kids, get them on your radar? They might not be that year or whatever, but a lot of my thinking is I like to get you early, around ninth grade. you may play, they're like, well, he may play JV and all that. That's great. It's a starting point. Coaches will have your information. They're going to have a recommendation. Coach, this is somebody you need to take a look at. You know what? Skill set's not quite there yet, but let me project him out a little bit. And you're like, great. Hey, I have his information. I'll keep getting updates and everything like that from you. I mean, and by doing that, you being a coach and being able to see, okay, here's Johnny when he starts in 9th grade, and wow, look at him in 10th, look at him 11th and 12th.
Yeah.
You see his whole story of him growing up in front of you, and have his information, his stats, and everything like that. Updated evaluations and everything like that. Does that help play a part in everything that you do when looking at a kid?
Yeah, I think so. I really do. One, that means you just got to get on the road and work, right? I mean, to see them all the time. For me, I don't really like to work too far ahead. Like,
Sure.
I'm not, like right now I'm getting the 22s in. Like, I'm trying to figure out what we're going to need in 22, right? And then 2, just kind of to make the good decisions on getting kids on campus, right? We haven't gotten any 22s on campus just yet, but I know who I want for the most part to get on campus.
You're
right?
not the only one, Coach.
Right. And so we don't like to kind of get ahead of ourselves, right? We want to make sure that when we come in the fall in 21, that we got the team that we want on the field, right? And then we can kind of go, okay, let's get 22 going. But when it comes to just, relationships, right? I think building a relationship with a young kid that one, maybe if that 9th grader, 10th grader reaches out and goes, hey, Coach G, man, I'm interested in your school. I'm going to definitely put that on my radar. I'm going to write it down. But I might not put any action into it. Like, I don't want the kid to think I'm not interested, but I'm never going to be like, hey, Johnny, let's get you on campus as a sophomore. That's not going to happen. Right. But I will write it down. But hey, Johnny's interested, keep it in the back of my head, let's rock and roll. If I was at a bigger school, then I'd probably make a move on that. But at the NAIA, small college athletics, we kind of try to work in the time frame of, hey, we're on 21s right now. Let's put all of our focus for the most part on 21s. In the back of my brain, I got the 22s in there, right? And then we kind of work from there. But like I said, the relationship aspect of knowing a young kid and seeing them grow up is an important thing too. Like, I don't want to minimize that. I still think that's important. But right now, building the relationships with our 21s and making sure that when they come here, it feels like home is the number one thing on top of our list right now.
Cool. Let's get into a little bit. You've gone the JUCO route. You've been there at Salem. You've done some intern stuff. You've been around and seen some different stuff of baseball and some different people. I know that, I always say, hey, something, and I'm 56 and I've been in, 25 years, maybe a little more than that now. And, I still learn, and from different coaches that you work with and everything like that. Tell us about your baseball philosophy. What you bring to Culver, a style that you want to play. I know that, in the game, sometimes you get the big bangers, sometimes you get the speed guys and everything like that. But what is it? Give me your foundation, and then build from there as far as, your baseball strategy, Coach, and what you're trying to accomplish.
It's a great question, because I think it really depends on the group you've got in the fall, right? I think, and it can change all the time. Like, I don't want to be the guy that says, this is what I do 24/7, no matter who's on our baseball roster, no matter what. Because then I don't think that we're growing, right? I don't think then we're going in the right direction. Right now, for our club, we got some boppers, right? So we like to hit doubles. We like to hit the ball out of the ballpark. So it's new school offense right now. When we run our team out in the spring, we're going to play new school baseball, right? we're going to try and hit the ball over the fence, and we're going to try hit doubles. And if we hit a single, we better steal second base, right? And it's very similar to what Addy does, right? And when it comes to what our offense does, we kind of built that together at Salem, and we figured out what worked. When we left Salem, Tom, we were top 20 in America in every offensive category we could be in. And so that worked for us, right? And for our baseball team at Culver now, that's kind of where we're at when it comes to offense. I don't want to sack bunt you, especially now. In the heart of America right now, we play 4-7s on the weekend, right? So I don't want to give away an out. We don't have very many of them, right? So we're new school when it comes to the way we play offense today. Could be different a year from now, right? I could be like, hey, we're not big boppers anymore. We're gonna have to hit and run. We're gonna have to do some other stuff. But today, when I stand at third base, I'm not gonna do much. I'm not gonna put many signs on. I'm gonna unhook them and let them go play. And then if they make mistakes, and we could talk about afterwards, right? But right now, we're just gonna unhook them, say, hey, go steal second base, man. Go hit a double. Go have fun, right? Go fly around and play really hard, slide really hard, do the things that we think wins us games, and that's what offensively it looks like right now for us. Go ahead. You got something?
No.
Gotcha. I'm gonna just keep rolling. When it comes to on the mound, we're going to compete our tails off on the mound. We want really good body language. It says, hey, I'm coming to get you, and there's not much you can do about it, right? We don't have a bunch of flamethrowers. We're not going to blow you up on the radar gun right now, but we're going to have tough guys that are going to compete their tails off, right? And so it's old school when it comes to how we do defense and on the mound. I am here to get on and off the field as quickly as we can. Right. And I'm going to let our guys decide if they want to throw the ball around. That doesn't matter to me. If you want to get the ball and go, let's get the ball and go. If you want to flash it around and you want to have fun, go do your thing. Right. But it's old school when it comes to that. We're going to try and if our number one and number two arms are going to try to strike you out. Right. But after that, we're going to force you to be in play. We're going to force you to be in play. Our ballpark's 400 feet to center field. Hit a fly ball and we're going to catch it and we're going to get off the field. Right. And when it comes to defense, we're gonna play the game really hard. We're gonna tag people hard. You're gonna know we're there. It's still a contact sport. You're gonna know we're there, and we're gonna play hard. And some people might not like it, but that's okay because I want to be in the dugout. I want to hit, and I want to hit, and I want to hit. And that's kind of what we encompass as a team. I tell our players we want to have the mentality that we're 1-0. We're up 1-0 when we walk off the bus. Right. We want, as soon as we pull into the parking lot or someone shows up, we want the mentality of our baseball team to be 1-0. Right. And so that's just kind of how we kind of do our thing.
Cool. I was getting ready to snicker. I was gonna say, boy, man, you sound like Addy when I talk to him and all. He's like,
I know.
It's quick as we can get off the field.
Yeah. You don't want to spend much time there, right? And
yep. And I mean,
we don't want to spend much time defensively.
Yeah, everybody does that. We talk about it in high school, and I working with the pitchers and many trips to the mound and all that out there. I'm like, yeah, something, man. We've been out here 20 minutes now. I said, these guys are not happy behind you and all that. I mean, you're sponsoring the walk.
That's right.
And they come in, they're like, get us a ground ball, man. Get us a ground ball. Let us play. I mean, that's what we're out here for. And
there's nothing worse
funny.
than a human rain delay, Tom.
Oh, I hear you. And great philosophies. It sounds like your program is, people are behind you, and you're building your block there now and everything. And you know what? If there's ever anything that I can do, I'm a call away or email away and everything. Just want to finish up, B, with, everybody's going through the COVID stuff. I have it's funny. Some coaches, well, we got to play and that, and then some that have been real cautious and everything. But you know what? It still affects everybody in the same way and all that.
Yeah,
And
does.
just talk a little bit. I know your kids are pulling their hair out and they're wondering this,
Yeah, it
they're
was tough.
wondering that.
Yeah.
How has this affected the school, the baseball program, and your staff? Your staff and your players.
Yeah, it's been difficult. I won't lie to you. It's been hard. Our school's been fine. We had in-person class. We had the whole thing. We tested all of our student athletes when they showed up on campus in the fall. So were there hiccups in between? Sure. Were there was it adapt? It was adaptation. We had to adapt to everything. When it comes to our baseball program, we were relatively lucky when it came to testing positive or whatever it may be. And I don't know if that's one because our season got canceled already and we were being extra safe. I like to give our guys that benefit of the doubt where they did a really good job, or we just got really lucky, right? I don't know which one. But we had a full fall. I mean, we practiced a full fall schedule. I mean, no outside competition, but we had a full fall. What's been hard, one is, right now is a very difficult time, right? We have been remote learning since, Thanksgiving, right? And so there are some kids that I won't see from Thanksgiving till January 18th, right? Because one, our campus is shut down to students right now, and it's Christmas break, but it's still a month from now until I get to have our guys back on campus. So that's a difficult thing to do. We try and do Zoom calls as much as we can. We try and do anything, but now I'm just hoping that they're one hitting and they're doing the things that they need to do when I'm not looking at them. So that's been a very difficult thing because in December, it's a good time to, we've got an indoor facility here. It's not mandatory for them to come in here, but the cage is open, like come hit. And it's nice to see guys, right? But now we can't. We're not going to see them again until January. So that's been a difficult thing. And I know our guys have been upset about it just because of all the precautions that we have to take. It's just a difficult thing sometimes. It's been hard. It's been hard for everybody, and like I said, we've been lucky, I think, up to a point. But we just got to continue to do the right things so we can get on the field. That's all I care about. If they go, hey, BG, you can't practice in January, that's fine. I just let me play. Just let me get on the field. And if that means I have to do whatever I have to do, is what we're gonna do.
If we can sum it up in one thing, give me a message that you give to your kids about getting through this and it's like you said, hey, you know what? We can control what we can control. We can't worry about stuff that's out of our control. Give me a message. Give me some kind of statement that you set across your kids. You're talking Zoom calls, and you know me. I know as well as you do. It bothers the heck out of me that I can't see my kids day to day, face to face, go through everything with them, and just say, you know what, hey. What's your positive spin that you give to your players?
Yeah, so we've been doing a thing weekly, and it's a mental game. We have a mental Zoom, right? We just talk about everything. There's no baseball talk really involved, other than it's all about the mind and everything. So what I would tell them, and it's positive mental attitude, right, Tom? It's one pitch at a time mindset, right? And it's in everything, not just on the baseball field. If you take life one pitch at a time and take everything, and that's the message, right? And for baseball people, they know exactly what I'm talking about, or softball people, right? You take life one pitch at a time, right? We might get something in there that someone spins a breaking ball at us, but we're going to have to just figure it out. And so that's the message, right? And most of them get it, right? And we're going to take this thing one pitch at a time. We're going to control all the things that we can control, right? If we can control being on the field, let's do it, right? But right now whatever they're going to throw at us, we're going to take it one pitch at a time, and we're going to keep moving forward. And hopefully that means we're playing a full 55 games. Hopefully that means that we're doing the things we need to do. So that's the message, one pitch at a time.
Well, that's awesome. And you know something, like I said, now that I'm out of high school and all that, I will be out watching games. You know me. You see me.
You're a grinder, man. You work hard.
All over the place. And that I got to get out there to Missouri to see a game. Let me ask you, are you going to play Coach Rouse?
Hey, I've been telling him. I think he's scared to come play the Cats. I know he's going to watch this. I told him he's scared to come play the Cats. No, but
I can't wait to get a text when he sees this.
I know. It's funny because we talk about he's best friend in the world, right? I mean, that's the cool thing about baseball. I mean, he's my best friend, right? So we talked about it, and I don't know if we're going to be able to play each other because it's going to be, and I don't want that, right? I just want my friend, right? And so, and it's funny because we play the same style of baseball, right? So I think we have the same signs. I think we do all the same stuff, right? So, I mean, I hope so at some point. He's right down the road, you know, and if we can meet up in 22 or 23, let's do it.
Well, I will tell you what. The day that happens, you got to get me to let me know and I'll be there. But you know what, Coach? Like I said, I wish you all the best. Wish your school, your family, your staff, your players a Merry Christmas, and want everybody to stay safe. And I appreciate you taking the time to come and talk and give some information and some insight. And I'm sure I'm going to have people, hey, Coach, tell me about Culver-Stockton. I'll be like, let me get your information to them and everything like that, and work from that. But anything that you ever need, Coach, pick up the phone and give me a I mean, it was funny, 1 o'clock in the morning last night. And I'm like, wow. I said, there you go. I said, you're almost a West Coaster being like that.
I'm telling you.
Addie doesn't get a hold of me that late.
The power of social media, Tom. I joke around with our players all the time that I'm big time on the Twitter, right? So it's important. I mean, that's a good way of sending our message out there. That helps us with winning some battles. It helps us win some battles. So.
All the time. I mean, I communicate through it, and I will tell you what, every one of my kids, when I sign them up or when I'm talking to them, I'm like, you don't have a Twitter account? Well, you better get one, because coaches love to communicate through it. And
make sure that the DMs are open, because if they're not, it's hard for us to if we don't have your phone number and you put a video on Twitter that we like and we can't message you, then it's you're not doing yourself any favors.
Well, the other thing too, I mean, phone wise and everything like that, if you're in the recruiting process, you have to be open. And it's funny. I mean, I'll be like this, like if you got a hold of one of my kids and 3 days later you're like, hey, I called or I texted and haven't heard back. I mean, I put them, all of my kids, on what I call a 24-hour rule, because I'm like, I said, college coaches suffer from instant gratification syndrome.
It's true.
If they're contacting you and putting their time into contacting you, you got 24 hours. Don't tell me that they contacted you on Monday. Well, I'm going to take care of getting back to everybody on Saturday. By Saturday, I mean, they're moving. A lot of it is like, hey, he hasn't taken the time to get back to me, so your name gets lost. I mean, it's like you were saying earlier in your situation, man. I'm making the time. I need the job. I'm reaching out to everybody, getting my information out. Bang. Hey, Salem, West Virginia. Where the hell is that?
That's right. And we did it. We did it, and that program, and JT's going to do a good job out there. I'm telling you, he's a rock star. So.
Well, cool. That's like I said, anything you need, you take care, stay safe, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing the information and insight, brother.
Well, thanks, Tom. I appreciate you having me. It's been fun.
All right, B. Take care, man, and you have a a great holiday. I'm sure I'll be talking to you.
You too. Thanks, Tom.
Yep.